Why are you always eating when we're live?
It's because you purposely started it right when I was taking my last bite. Yeah.
Maybe you should have ate sooner.
There's this thing called work. I'm sorry, I got to do it.
And? I worked
get
all
home
day
till
too.
late. Some of us have to work hard, right? Just, you know what? Just roll the intro.
God bless America, and gentlemen, start your engine!
Still down there. Still down there.
Still outside corner, you're number one.
Was out. Hell was out. Then just about out wrecked him. And then she busted her ass.
Again?
Remember,
You knew when the intro was going to end, too. You did that on purpose.
I got one more chicken nugget.
Those McDonald's chicken nuggets?
Air fryer. Tyson.
Ugh. Tyson is like, sometimes it's good and sometimes it's ugh.
These air fryer ones are okay. It's the thick breadcrumbs. But all right. So what a eventful weekend of some NASCAR racing.
McTits, yeah.
So I try, keeping the D's up.
I don't think he's talking about you.
Oh, yeah.
My pick one.
My pick one. Can't help it. When you're hot, you're hot. I mean, you picked AJ. I think he finished in the top
35.
35. Yeah, somewhere in there.
But I won fantasy this week, so suck it.
You did win fantasy because Kyle Busch's motor decided to just spit out a valve. Thanks, Kyle Busch, because I was leading until that happened.
Oh, okay.
Can't believe it.
Oh, okay.
Hurt my feelings.
Okay.
I had AJ in there too, thinking that he was at least going to come in the top 10, and then he just got booted by Blaney.
AJ sucked. He wasn't fast at all.
He had no speed whatsoever. He had speed in the Xfinity race, and that was about it.
And he still didn't win that either.
He didn't win that one either, because Ty Gibbs put on a clinic out there for Xfinity. As much as I hate to say it, that car was the fastest car on the track that day, and he was able to win that. But yeah, so we went to IRP. So hopefully it is the last time of the ride course, and we will be back on the oval next year. They already announced tickets. Didn't fully announce that it's going to be the oval, but pretty much everyone's kind of under the same assumption that, hey, we are getting the Brickyard back. I cannot wait. I'm so excited.
Yeah, they were testing today too, so It was nice to see the next gen cars on the oval. I really hope that the oval was back next year, because the road course, it was cool the first year just because it was different, but it's not an entertaining race at all.
So still impressive? Is that what we're agreeing on, right? That it's still impressive that he wins? Because you beating a youth T-ball team, you're going to have a heart attack just swinging the bat.
It's not impressive. I honestly don't think that he should be racing in the Xfinity Series, especially with how bad they're running in the Cup Series. Maybe they should be putting more emphasis on that.
No, he gave up on that a while ago.
Clearly he did, because I don't understand why you would go halfway across the country to race an Xfinity race when you're in the playoff race, so.
Hey, they're not going to – right now it's looking like they're not going to make it. I mean,
yeah, hell no.
Glenn, does he have a chance to win it? Obviously, it's a road course, so yeah, he has a chance.
I just hope he does win this weekend, AJ. I hope he does win this weekend. That way everybody just shut up about Chase.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Chase still has a chance at Daytona because, but I don't think he's going to. I really think that Chase is not making the playoffs this year. I really don't want him to make the playoffs. it just everything that's transpired over this year. He's missed so many races. Like, I can't believe he's in the Owners' Championship. He's made on the owner's side.
Well, that just shows Josh Berry did an excellent job subbing and getting points. But I think if you're not a Chase fan, I think you're pulling for him not to make the playoffs. And if you are a Chase fan, then you're pulling for him, obviously. So,
I mean, even non-Chase fans are pulling because they know what it's going to do to the ratings in the sport.
That's the only thing I'm worried about. If he does miss the playoffs, we know we're going to see a ratings tank. It's just inevitable.
Yeah, people are just not going to. I mean, they'll watch some of the races, obviously, the ones that he's really good at, but it's not going to have the numbers that it could have had with him making it in. But even if he does make it in, I don't see him making it past the first round because it's just the playoff points are so far out of his control, and I don't think. Got it.
That is very true. If he does make the playoffs, obviously he's going to be in a huge deficit. Just given the playoff point situation. But I think he would make it past the first round. But I just don't think. Okay, yeah, they were fast this weekend, but how many weekends has he actually shown contending speed? Not running top 10 speed. I'm talking about running for a win.
Well, his average finish is so high. That's the thing that gets him. Like that's the reason why even being out of the car for 7 weeks this year, he still was close because his average finishes and his points, the way that he knows how to get stage points and get good finishes. I mean, he just knows how to be in the top 10. So, I mean, yeah, it might not be winning speed, but he knows how to be close enough to make it to, the second round, third round. I just don't think he's going to do it because I think the Roval is in the top 16 round going into 8, right?
No, Roval was in the top 12.
Top 12?
Round 12, I should say.
Round 12, yeah. So, I mean, I just don't see him. I think he can win the Roval. I think he's going to win the Roval. I've been saying that basically since the beginning of this year. But to me, it's going to be too little too late. I don't think it's going to matter.
It's already too little too late. I mean, you can tell by his demeanor when, the press is asking him, hey, what do you think your chances are still making the playoffs? I'm like, you fucking win. Like, there's no way around it. And he's been acting like that's pretty much since the beginning. But ever since he had a pathway on points, everybody thought, oh, yeah, he's just going to point his way in. And he didn't. He wasn't there for playoff points. He wasn't there for stage points. Like you said, he was finishing top 10, averaging top 10 and everything. But aside from, where he ran throughout the race, they haven't had, contending speed throughout an entire race. And if you're not contending, for a top 5 at least, you're not going to be contending for wins.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, at the same time, like I said, his average finishes when he is in a race is very high. Obviously, Michigan, he missed out, but it's Chase. I mean, the problem is that they made so much of the broadcast about Chase Elliott.
Oh, my God.
They were just going, well, what about Chase this? Hey, look at Chase this. Well, Chase can make this. Look at how Chase raced that.
That's the only real gripe I have about NBC. They've crushed the broadcasting this year so far. I mean, it's night and day better than Fox. But 100%. The one thing about NBC is they love playing drama. They love hyping drama and making storylines and overreacting to what's going on rather than, calling it how they see it. Like, oh, Chase, he's a 7-time winner on road courses, but he hasn't won in the next gen car. So the point is kind of mute there. Like, it's just, it doesn't, it's a completely different car.
Yeah, I mean, they're playing into it. Obviously, they're trying to go for ratings, which there's always that fine line of balance between ratings and truth. And, sometimes they definitely skate the edge of that. But, I mean, we'll see how it continues to go through. I think what we got to focus on here is how exciting that race was for a race that only had, 2 cautions?
One caution.
One caution the entire race.
Lap 6.
It was really early in the race. And
I was lap 2. It was very early. I think they got I think they got it back going at lap 6. So they went from lap 6 all the way to the end, green flag.
Because that was
Steve Leclerc said green flag.
That was another one of Blaney's punting moves, and he got he got Justin Haley into the wall.
Logano?
Oh, was it Logano on that one? Because Blaney punched. Blaney did.
Logano took out Haley, and then Logano almost took out his teammate on that restart.
and then he spun himself, which was amazing. I loved it.
Yeah. I think his hair got in the way.
Something did, but he raced like trash, which I'm glad because last year with him dive bombing turn 1,
he's got to be happy if the road course goes away at Indy.
Oh yeah, for sure. Let's see. I'm trying to look. But yeah, I mean, it was a great race. I enjoyed it from the very beginning going through. Yeah, there wasn't a lot of side by side racing, but there was a lot of great matchups of people going back and forth, back and forth. SVG was out there rubbing paint from the very, very beginning. I mean, the other drivers that they kind of said, "Hey, watch out for these guys," didn't really have a hope from the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about Brody. Brody had to go to a backup car because he wrecked during qualifying. Yep. So went to a backup car, started in the back. Kamui Kobayashi, he had he just didn't really show the speed and everything during practice, and I think
he got punted too,
27th or something. Yeah, Ricky Stenhouse made a effort to take every international driver out.
He just hates people that travel. I guess so. That's what it is.
I guess so. But yeah, Kamui didn't have a good finish, although he said he'd love to come back. Of course, Jensen was racing, Andy Lally was racing, and then Mike Rockefeller in the 42, which we know how that trash team went. So,
yep. Legacy had a wonderful weekend, which I will now say wonderful because Eric Jones had issues and Rockefeller had issues. And
I hate it, though, because I'm still an Eric Jones fan.
I love Eric Jones, but Legacy now to me is just it's tainted. Legacy is not the Jimmy Johnson team.
I'm still gonna pull for Eric next year when he's in a Toyota, even though he's gonna be in a Legacy car. I'm still gonna pull for him because I'm gonna pull for the driver. But fuck the team. I mean, we're not getting back into that.
Yeah, that team's trash. And I mean, he'll be there with his teammate John Hunter Nemechek, so yeah, he'll be going through. But, I mean, overall, the race was great to me. Tire wear really didn't seem too bad. I didn't really see too much of people starting to get crazy out there, except for some of the big wide turns. That's the only time I saw some slipping and sliding, basically coming to the start-finish. Other than that, I just think it was good racing. I mean, Denny Hamlin and Brad Keselowski were going at it all day long. They didn't finish in the top 10, or I think they were like 15 and 16 or something like that, but they were racing awesome. You had the pit road strategy when you had Suarez, which Suarez had just a great day overall compared to what he was doing earlier this year. So I don't know. I enjoyed the racing. I think it was great.
I thought it was an okay race. I didn't particularly think it was the greatest race of all time, nor did I think it was the greatest road course race of this year. But I will say the strategy, I think if we would have had at least one or two caution flags throughout the middle of the race, that kind of would have changed some of the strategy up, because it just seemed like there was probably about 6 to 10 guys maybe that were on the alternative strategy. Denny Hamlin was one of them. Brad Keselowski was one of them. Obviously, Hamlin got the stage win in stage 2. It's just, I think that with the tire situation going on right now, these cars, they're already equal to begin with. Yeah. We're seeing that, not just at Indy. We're seeing that across the board. But, there wasn't much tire fall off. And I would say the fall off that there was, it was equal for everybody. So yeah.
All the cars were the same.
So we saw McDowell, that last stint, he got out to, 3.5 second lead. And NBC, again, sucking on Chase. Oh, Chase is running him down. Chase is closing the gap. 10 laps later, he was still 3 seconds behind. Yeah. So, it's not like Chase really could do anything. And I think he did close on the last lap and a half. But I think that was just McDowell, making sure he wasn't going to make a mistake.
Well, a little bit of that, and then the lap traffic. I mean, he complained over the radio. I don't know if you listened to that part of it, but he complained over the radio about the lap traffic not getting out of the way. I mean, it wasn't the easiest to get around Rockefeller, and obviously
it wasn't easy to get around anybody.
Yeah, I mean,
it's already there. That road course, it does not fit these cars. I really hope, again, we're going to keep saying it. Please bring the oval back.
Pretty sure it's done. Hoping it's done.
I mean, okay, so we saw we already know what the next gen car package race is like on intermediates, 1.5 miles. It's outstanding racing. Kansas, Charlotte. I mean, Charlotte's one of the best intermediate tracks now. Michigan, the 2 mile, California, Fontana earlier this year. That was a fantastic race. Can you imagine these cars at the Brickyard? Like, I'm looking forward to Homestead. I think Homestead's going to be a fantastic race.
Oh, for sure.
So, again, Oval, Brickyard next year, make it happen, NASCAR.
NASCAR, you got to listen to the people. Us, the people, we're telling you what to do. Listen to it. Don't just shy away. And then, on top of that, we got to talk about Ford. Ford has now won, 3 straight? 3 in a row. Ford. Yeah. And then you look at Ty Majeski, who won the truck race too. And I mean, this is an all Ford show right now. Yeah. What do they?
I don't get better? The trucks. I don't really. We know that they're spec engines, so
his truck was leagues above. I don't know if you watched the race.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure I was the one in the group chat saying, "Are y'all fucking watching this truck race? This shit was amazing."
Oh yeah, okay.
Now, I think the truck race was probably the race of the weekend.
Oh, for sure, it was an awesome race.
Yeah,
I mean, I enjoyed that thing. Haley Deegan.
I would love to see Xfinity go back to IRP too.
Oh yeah.
Leave if we're gonna go back to the Brickyard for the Oval for the Cup cars.
Yeah.
Leave that the tradition for the Cup Series. Take Xfinity back to IRP. Like that's even the Xfinity Oval race. It wasn't really all cracked up to be that great.
Yeah, I mean, and we've seen the 1.5 miles aren't great for Xfinity, but they're great for the Cup car. So yeah. I agree 100%.
Yeah. So yeah, let's the truck race. It was amazing. Ford, they've won 3 in a row in the Cup Series. They pretty much, had a dominant weekend. Obviously, Ty Gibbs won the Xfinity race, so there was one Toyota in the mix there. But I would say that honestly, Ford has found something here. They're making a playoff push, trying to get points and everything. But let's talk about the big deal here. It wasn't a Penske or a Stewart-Haas car that's won these 3 races. It's been RFK and Front Row.
Yeah. The small no-name teams that have very little funding, very little time. I mean, I don't know if you've listened to that.
Look,
I'm not going to talk about it if you haven't.
What, Ashton Sacramento?
Yeah, because Michael McDowell's there.
I've listened. I listened to the first 35-ish minutes or so on the way home tonight.
Okay. I don't remember where it's at in there, but so I'm not going to spoil anything for you.
You talking about the Hawkeye?
Well, the Hawkeye for one, but also the way that it's working right now is Ford is actually going to all the teams and going, hey, listen, this is how we're going to move forward. This is how we're going to do things to kind of even things out.
They were just getting into that. Yeah. They were just getting into that. So I don't know the full details behind that just yet. But I would say it was very interesting to hear Michael talk about how they don't have a Hawkeye system there. And if he does what he's supposed to do, which I would imagine, now that they've locked themselves in the playoff points and everything, that they'll go ahead and, get that Hawkeye. That's a big deal. Like they talked about, not to be able to, rub on the cars, get, that last little bit out of them. Joe Gibbs, they have it. Hendrick's got it. All the big teams have got it. So kudos to Front Row, Michael McDowell. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, this is great for that team. And then on top of that, his sim time, he only gets sim time. I didn't know this on Thursdays. Yeah. The cars are already loaded up on their way or at the track. So they can't make adjustments like these other big teams are.
Yeah, and that's one of the big things too. That's one of the big things too, is that people think the sim would be like, iRacing or whatever, just to get the driver, some acclimation to the track, get some laps in and everything since it's short practice. But it's really not. It's obviously to help the driver, but they can make changes in the sim to make the car feel like, okay, we added some ride height here or whatever it is. So they can make those adjustments in sim and translate it to real life. And so they don't have that option. They can set it up at the race shop, Monday through Wednesday, but Thursday the cars are gone. So that's a good point too.
Yeah. So, I mean, great for that team. I mean, he's, this is his second win. Daytona 2021 was his first win. So
yeah, congratulations
in that team. That them winning, I think all of us in the group chat, we're all fans of different people, but every single one of us, I don't think there was a single one of us that said, "Oh, boo, Michael McDowell won." All of us, just
I think Connor was.
Connor's a Ty fan.
Yeah, because it knocked Ty Gibbs out. That's the other thing to talk about is Ty he got knocked out. He came into Indy 16th in points. You know, he was looking to, you know, I don't think that he had a shot to point his way in. I think he was going to have to win because we were going to see another driver like Michael win this weekend. But
yeah,
I will hats off to Ty for, you know, giving it a run here. And the season's not over. He can still shock the world. He can go to Watkins Glen this weekend, win. He can go to Daytona and win. We've seen crazy things happen at Daytona, so I'm still not ruling Ty out.
I'm gonna say it again. Brad Keselowski is gonna take Daytona. I'm going ahead and calling it now.
Yeah, that's my pick too.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say that there. Now Ty could take Watkins Glen. I could see that.
Ty's, you know, we shit on Ty because, you know, just we like to, but
I mean, at the height of my ass, I can't really help it.
Right. He's so young too. Hey, I will say he looks like he's matured just a little bit. He's got like the little scruffy beard and everything going on now too. I don't know if you saw his, you know, post race after the Indy win and everything. I was like, damn, Ty looks like he's grown up just a little bit.
Yeah, but he also, like, I don't know what he's doing with his hair, but he's got kind of this half bullet going. But the front, whenever he was putting without his helmet on, it looked like he had horns. I was like, this dude's got devil horns right now.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Yeah, they panned on TV just like really quickly, and it was like, boom, devil horns. I was like, that's weird.
Joe says, "Fuck Ty Gibbs." Ty's just one of those guys that I feel like right now I'm gonna hate him because I want to, and I feel like I should, but I feel probably 7, 8, 9, 10, 79 years from now,
yeah,
you know, we'll have that respect for him because I don't know. I feel like he's gonna.
He's got to grow up a little bit more on me. I still don't like him from what he did back when he was.
To me, he's just fake.
Gonna be, yeah.
It's the way he presents himself, like the interviews and all that stuff. You know, pre and post race, whatever altercations he gets in the middle of a race or something like that. He just presents himself to be a little too fake. Like, you know, PR is making his, you know, his speeches and everything. What's up, Mason?
Can you wave? Can you wave to the
Mason.
people? There's the peoples. So yeah, I guess he wanted to join here for a second. He kind of looks. He's about the same height as Ty Gibbs, actually. So it's about the same, blonde hair, everything. I could
give him a mullet like Ty
Gibbs. I could, if you know the wife would let me get a mullet for him.
Larissa, can we please give Mason a mullet?
Yeah, she's saying absolutely not. We just might want to move on from the mullet subject. So Bubba Wallace is now only 28 points to the good as well. So he's got to race his butt off. Now, these next two tracks, Watkins Glen is not one of his tracks, obviously.
Well, road courses in general is not his thing. So.
Yeah. So you got to think that he might end up losing out to Daniel Suarez for Watkins Glen, but can he make it up in Daytona would be the question for me.
Yeah. So that's interesting because let's pose this situation here. If Ty Gibbs or Daniel Suarez or Bubba Wallace,
thank you.
If we get two more winners this weekend or this weekend and next weekend, we get two more winners. That puts Kevin Harvick on the cut.
Yeah. Yeah, because right now you got, obviously, Ricky is in 16th, but he's got to win. So you got Kevin Harvick and Brad and Bubba. And that's what's left. So if you get two new winners, yeah, you're right there. And, you know, the good news for Harvick is I think he can do really well at Daytona. I don't think he's going to do well at Watkins Glen, unfortunately, but you never know what's going to happen here. What's the point spread right now? 145 to 143. And Brad, like I said, I think Brad's going to win Daytona. So
you hope he's going to win it. I hope he wins before the playoffs.
I do. I really do.
I got two guys I want to see win this year, and that's obviously Brad and Kevin.
I want to see Kevin win. I'd love to see Kevin win something that means a lot too. So maybe it's this week in Watkins Glen and he just comes out of nowhere. How is NASCAR going to force Chase into the playoffs? You know they're going to leave.
You know, I saw a joke on it was going around. It was one of those memes. It looked like Bob Pockers tweeted it. It looked like a real Bob Pockers tweet, but it said NASCAR has officially announced that there will be 17 playoff drivers this year, and Chase Elliott's going to be one of them or something like that. I was like, you guys waited a little too early to put that out. You need to wait after Daytona.
They had to wait till Daytona. They could have won that one. I mean, that would have fooled some people. But honestly, if it's going to happen, I think he finishes second at Watkins Glen, and then the first car gets disqualified for some crazy, like some part doesn't match, and then he gets the win because of it.
Oh, you mean like Pocono last year?
Yes, exactly like Pocono last year. So, there's going to be some Scotch tape. They're going to just find on a windshield somewhere, somehow, and he'll make it in. That's the only way they can kind of fool it in, because I don't see him winning Watkins Glen. I know he was the street course racer, obviously 7 wins in 5 years, but what has he done lately at road courses as far as winning? Now, top 5, okay, I get you, but winning road courses lately.
He hasn't won in the next gen era at a road course.
At all. Mm-mm.
Honestly, I think, and this will lead up into our picks coming up, but Daniel Suarez, where the hell did he come from? Especially this weekend, he showed up speed. And if it wasn't for that bad pit stop, I think Suarez we would have been talking about him winning this race, not McDowell.
He would have been in front, that's for sure. Because, I mean, when they showed Michael McDowell and him coming to pit road at the end of stage, or when they pitted after the end of stage 1, and Michael McDowell like slowed down way back, and then Suarez waited to the last second and gained all that ground on him, I was like, oh, this dude he came to play. Yeah. And then all of a sudden that pit happened and it was on the cord, and I was like, oh, that took all the steam. And just with the way road courses are and how hard it is to pass to begin with, I kind of knew that was kind of writing on the wall. Now, Suarez didn't give up. He definitely fought the good fight, but just not enough because of it.
How about Suarez's teammate, Ross? Where the hell has he been at?
I have no clue this year. This year, where's he at even in points?
I mean, I just had it pulled up. He is 6th in points. As far as playoff standings go. Not like normal. Like I'm talking about, when the playoffs start, he's 6th.
Yeah. 7 overall, 6 in playoffs is what it looks like. So
what has happened to him?
I don't know. Ever since the muzzle happened, it's just been different. But it's been different for Trackhouse as a whole. So I'm hoping that with Suarez getting this new breath,
they're trying something.
Yeah, that maybe there's going to be some transition, because Ross, yes.
I think Hendrick's doing the same thing. Like the top Chevy teams are doing the same thing. Like obviously they're doing what they can to get the 9 and the 48 in. But as far as like the 5 and 24, I really feel like they've got to be trying something.
I mean, there's nothing else to do. Like last year, this same time, it seemed like Ross was heating up. Now it's like, man, he hasn't done anything in weeks. He's still coming out with decent finishes. I don't know what does it show my average here. Let me see.
I'm trying to pull up the results there. But Ross isn't a good road course racer. We kind of know that. He finished 17th yesterday.
But maybe Daytona. I mean, there's a lot of maybe Daytonas, but I still think that's Brad's to lose. I think that Buscher and Brad are going to do really well. Buscher. Christopher Buscher.
It's Chris Buscher.
Christopher Buscher. I know how much I like it.
I fucking hate it. So annoying.
But yeah, I mean, there's just some weird looking people out there too.
So Ross finished 7th at Michigan. Like nobody talked about that. But he didn't get any stage points either. So
he's racing different. He's on these billboards for don't speed, and he forgot how to go fast. That's the only thing I can think of. It's the only correlation I can think. It don't make sense, Daddy.
24th at Richmond, lap down.
He hasn't had great weeks.
Even Pocono. Remember last year at Pocono, he was in contention to win the damn thing until Hamlin did the.
His average finish is 15.1.
Yeah, it's not that great. So
it's not.
I don't understand. Well, I still wouldn't sleep on him. Watch playoff starts and he's going to be fucking.
Oh, you can't
taking an all-way championship for it.
They'll figure out how to wall ride with watermelons again, and it'll be legal somehow.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just going to happen. But yeah, so Fords picked up. There was, let's see, again, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 Fords currently in the playoff picture as we speak. Starting with Buscher, obviously. You got Blaney, Logano, McDowell, Harvick, Keselowski. Now, the other Ford that's kind of dropped off, or the other driver that's kind of dropped off lately to me, is Logano. What has happened to Logano?
I don't know either. That's a good question too. There's been some players like at the beginning of the season and who you would expect to be good, and they just have not.
Yeah,
They've not been showing up. It's been a weird season though, because we started off with Chevrolet just dominating. William Byron winning 2 in a row, Larson winning 2 short tracks and everything. Hendrick Motorsports showing that they were probably going to be the force to be reckoned with and everything. And then kind of the summer months roll around, and here's Toyota. Toyota shows up. Truex is rattling off wins. Hamlin's rattling off wins, and then Ford 3 in a row now. So is it Ford's? Is Ford in the prime spot? Like, are they the ones that have hit it at just the right time, or has Chevy taken a step back and they're just they're preparing?
I think Chevy comes back once the playoffs start. I don't think they get a win till after Daytona, though. I don't see a Chevy.
I feel that way too.
Chevy winning Daytona.
Yeah, so, I feel that way too, because I think I will say that Suarez would have a legitimate shot winning Watkins this weekend. Obviously, Chase. So there are some Chevys that have a shot, but I think it might be a Toyota weekend. Toyota or Suarez.
I'm going Toyota. Was what I'm thinking. We're not in the pick section yet, so I won't get there yet. Yeah. But I do think it's Toyota. Yeah, and I agree with you. It was Chevy for the entire front half, and then Toyota, and now it looks like Ford's kind of moved in. And I think Ford's going to get at least one more win here before the end of the year. So if they're getting hot at the right time, that's perfect. But I also remember last year where it seemed like Logano did the same thing last year. Towards the end of the regular season, he wasn't really making much noise, but then all of a sudden when it got to the playoffs, he was doing just enough each time to secure himself into those next rounds. I think he can do it again. He's
a 2-time champion for a reason, so I'm not going to sleep on Logano at all.
He knows
what I'm not sleeping on any of these guys in the playoffs. It's going to come down to execution. We're going to see, we're going to see some of the teams towards the back, obviously the 47, I hate to say it, the 34, they're going to have more of a hard time executing because they're, a smaller team. Yeah. But I still think, hey, McDowell, he talked about it in Actions Detrimental. Like, look, if they get through the round of 16 and make it to the round of 12, there's 2 tracks right there in the round of 12 that they could shock people with. Talladega, Roval.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's nothing off the table, and that's what I like right now. I feel like there's nothing off the table. We don't really know who's going to show up each week. We do have some really key players out there. I mean, unfortunately, William Byron seems like he's kind of started regressing a little bit here.
But again, I think that William Byron thing too, I think Hendrick and Chevy, they've got to be, okay, we're locked in. I still think, William obviously would want to win the regular season championship because there's points to go with that.
Now,
but yeah, they don't have a chance at that. It's going to be Truex.
Yeah, true. I think Denny's a race and a half back or something he said. So I think
he's a race for sure.
Yeah. So obviously there's gonna be different this year to me than years previous. But I think Chevy right now is cooled off. I'd like to see them speed back up. I think they will, but I'm thinking it's at least 4 races before that happens.
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna move into starting about picks now. I mean,
yeah. Let's make them picky picks.
All right. We're just picking Cup again, right?
Yeah. Yeah, just Cup. Are we doing the underdog and then
we'll do main and then underdog? Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we're racing Watkins.
I think already you're picking.
Well, I kind of threw it out there. Suarez was going to be my number 1 pick.
Who you got as your underdog?
Underdog though. Well, let me look at the entry list so I can familiarize myself here.
So while you're doing that, I'll go ahead and throw out my main. And my main for this one is going to be Martin Truex.
Yeah, that's a solid pick. I think Toyota's going to show some speed.
Yeah, I really have him finishing high up there. I do think Chase is going to probably finish second, but
God damn it, David.
What? He's going to finish second, not first. He ain't winning. Ain't no way.
Fix your internet. Fix your internet.
Mine's working on my side. I'm just saying. It's probably your side.
Shit.
That
No.
Dollar General that you've been pulling off of. Get your internet subscription through a Cracker Jack box.
Yeah, $120 a month for shit internet. I'm gonna go with Austin Cindric as my underdog.
Damn it. That was gonna be my underdog. Okay. Well then I'm gonna go with Ty Gibbs. He did good. I mean, obviously he's kind of known road course a little bit. I'm gonna go with Ty Gibbs, my underdog. So it definitely was gonna be Cindric, but okay, I'll concede that and go with Gibbs. So 2 Toyotas for me.
Where did Cindric finish? Results.
Let's see.
15th.
Yeah.
I think he might have been on that alternative strategy though too. Either way. So I got Suarez and Cindric. You've got Truex and Gibbs. Write it down. I cannot wait for this weekend. I love Watkins Glen.
Same. It's one of those tracks I definitely want to make sure I go to at least once.
Yeah, so. Watkins Glen is probably my favorite road course race of the year. Just because I'm old school anyways and grew up with 2 road course races a year. I love Sonoma too. I mean, those are the OG road courses. Real quickly, do we have too many road courses? Are we saturated too much with them?
Yeah. Yeah, I think we get rid of, IRP got to go. I mean, we've all agreed that's got to go. Now, Road America, sorry. My bad. I apologize. But I would like to see Road America back. So I think we have to take away the Roval after 3 years from now. When the Roval goes
Roval's
away,
not going anywhere anytime soon, unfortunately.
They got to make return on that investment, unfortunately. So we'll have that. But I would like to see Road America come back, and then we can lose. I really think we can lose the Roval. Coda's not bad is the problem. It's hard to say lose it. It's definitely not my favorite, but I don't hate it.
If we were to get rid of some road courses, let's say you got to have 4 road courses a year.
Watkins, Road America,
Coda.
Yeah. I'd put Coda. I'd put Coda in the playoffs.
Might be hard to do with the weather and everything. That's why it's where it's at now.
Yeah, true. I mean, you could roll Sonoma over there. That would be tough too, almost. You're starting to get it.
I would like to see Sonoma move into early in the season.
That would work.
I feel like let's do some homework for our podcast next week.
Okay.
Let's come up with a hypothetical season, like how you want to see the schedule.
Okay. I can do that.
Let's think about how you would structure the regular season and how you would structure the playoffs.
I can tell you right now.
You got to keep the same amount of races, but any track is open to be on the circuit.
I'll give you a hint. My first race and last race will be the same.
No, I don't want the championship ending in Daytona. No.
It doesn't matter about you. It matters about
that's fine. That's fine. I like it. And anybody that's watching, throw in your comments on where you think certain races should be. Because that's what I was going to allude to is I would love to see Sonoma at the beginning of the season. So when we do our West Coast swing, you go Daytona, Sonoma, Phoenix, Las Vegas, something around that way. Because imagine Sonoma with the green grass instead of just the burn ass grass in the middle of June.
That's true. It would be.
We used to do it.
Yeah, I mean, that wouldn't be bad. I can tell you that. But so
we'll have a special episode. We'll touch on a little bit of the race next week, and then we'll talk about hypothetical how we want to see the schedules get realigned.
Sounds good to me. But all right, well,
all right, everybody.
I ain't got nothing else.
No.
Well, in that case, that's all we got. Thank y'all for joining us. Really appreciate y'all to stick around. Looking forward to starting getting videos back rolling on TikTok probably next week. I'm kind of taking some time, still getting over some family stuff and everything, but we'll be back with you with some more content coming soon. And then obviously we have the Roval we'll be going to, which is a couple months away, but just around the corner. Just around the corner.
Yep.
But all right, well, until next time, see you.
Okay, bye.